I started training with a fire artist to take pictures of the fire because fire is a hard element to shoot. A really hard element to shoot.
Crazy.
So, yeah, and it ended up really cool. I mean, to do that kind of big like photography, you have like you prepare for like hours and hours and hours, and you have about 10 minutes, if not less, to shoot because the timing of the sun is very specific.
Right.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Another episode with MackZaddy. We don't have Mackenzie with us here.
You get the Zaddy part today.
We are all the way in France at the moment, and we have a special guest. We just did a photo shoot with him. This is Andrew. Say hello to Andrew.
Hi guys.
Andrew, say hello. Yeah.
AKA Mr. Pixploration himself.
Yes, as you can see by the setup and the photos behind us, he's got amazing work. You've done some pretty cool stuff with these cool people.
I try.
Yeah. So you work with a lot of the dance pros, obviously, and these are like three of your favourites, I'm assuming?
Probably some of them. Some of them are from like specific shoots we did like a while back for this one. Very cool project with this one. It took a while to set up.
Yeah.
And this one was quite a improvised shoot.
I love it.
Which turned out really cool, yeah.
I love it. I loved hearing your stories yesterday and everything, and I think we kind of just wanted to have you on here too to share some of the thoughts that you had with Australia and the rest of the world, and kind of talk about the stuff that we normally talk about. So let's get into it. Backstory on you. You're also a dancer. How did you get into the scene? What's your story?
Yeah, so the story is basically that, so I used to be a dancer before. Started dancing
Used to be, whatever. You still a dancer. Come on.
Once a dancer, always a dancer.
Yeah.
That's right, come on guys. But yeah, I started dancing when I was like 10. Discovered West Coast when I was like 16. So it's like 14 years ago.
Nice.
And then, I got into dancing more and more. Started teaching, traveling places, teaching as well. And COVID hit for a lot of people. Stopped the teaching part, no more events. And got into photography more professionally by that time. And basically just got into it like really strong during COVID. But started photography probably 2 years before COVID. And just it kind of kicked in. After COVID, people started asking for shoots and stuff. And it just, took off from there.
Amazing. I've seen you work with Ferrari.
Not Ferrari,
Porsche?
Porsche,
Nice.
Porsche, Aston Martin.
Yeah,
for
terrible brands to wear. Terrible cars.
Yeah. I hate it.
So what percentage is like dance photography, would you say, versus not?
I think the time I spend doing dance photography is probably half of my year, but if we talk finances, it's probably 20%, if not less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's and then before it used to be more dancing, I'm guessing?
Yeah, before, like when I started, it would have been a bit more dancing because this is where I had my first clients in, would be the dance world because people knew me from the dance world. So that was like a huge plus for me starting out.
Yeah.
And then the more I moved into photography, the more I developed my company, and now Pixploration is its own company, and I hire as well other freelancers into other jobs that are more like, like business schools and Porsche or like events for like different companies. Yeah.
Okay. So you would say you went hard from like for Pixploration probably after COVID, you were saying, so like probably like 5 years now? 4 years?
Yeah, about 4 or 5 years would be about the right time, yeah.
Cool. That's cool to see like how much you've progressed and like come from that. That's pretty cool.
And you do events sometimes as well?
Dance events?
Yeah.
In terms of photography?
Yeah.
I do maybe 4 or 5 a year, but at the minute, not too much. Like 2024, I focused on working on B2B work specifically. So I kind of took a break off from dancing. I was teaching till November, I think 2023 as a dance teacher. And I stopped at that time to focus on the company itself, building itself without the dancing.
Oh, so really didn't even stop until like focus on Pixploration until then, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, 100% focus.
Yeah, right.
Till basically November 2023. Yeah.
Wow. 2 years. 3, 4.
Almost
like not even
almost
2 years. Yeah.
It's been a full year.
Yeah.
That I've been focused on working as, developing the company itself.
Cool.
Like, let's say more like basic jobs that you would have as a photographer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We were talking about some things about like shooting the other day or yesterday. This is yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
And I loved how like your creative brain, like you were talking about some of these photo shoots before, and how I was like, what's your favorite type of shoot? And you were saying like very depending and stuff like that. So for everyone out there, like how did you find your style, or like how do you think about photography and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think the question of style when it comes to photography is like kind of a question that people ask themselves a lot. I don't think there's like, well, I obviously have like one thing that I love doing, but then the style kind of evolves with time because it's kind of a reflection of who you are as well. Same kind of as, when you're a dancer.
Yeah.
And the more you evolve in your dance journey, the more your style kind of comes out.
Cool.
And actually the style makes you who you are as an all-star champion.
Love that.
Dancer. Same thing as for photographers, I guess.
Yeah.
Your personality has to be brought into the pictures to make it stand out to the rest of the photographers out there.
Yeah. But you're still continually learning and growing and stuff like that.
Yeah. Always open to new ideas. Always open to looking what other photographers are doing or other artists. Because I also inspire myself from obviously dancers, but also from other artists such as painters and stuff like that.
Yeah. You said you mentioned someone from Australia that you were following the other day.
Yeah. There's this YouTuber. I mean, there's a few YouTubers in Australia that are really good. That does all these POV kind of, shoots in the street, and for his nighttime photography that I don't do too much, but his nighttime photography is like really, really good.
Nice.
Yeah, Australia.
yeah, for sure. But then when it comes to like, getting your style out there, it's mostly like for people that want to get into photography, it's always about doing more and more and more, and then you're going to find your style. The style kind of finds itself.
Yeah, okay.
What's your most memorable shoot?
Oh, that's a very good question. Oh, it's so hard. It's hard. I think each shoot is different. It has like a memory attached to it. Obviously, these three are for me like specific like shoots, all completely different in terms of how we made them, how they were brought up, the ideas that came with them. The goals as well were different. Well, let's start with this one because this one's like probably the most epic one we did, like I've ever done.
You can find that one, Nicole and Thibault, on your Pixploration.
Yeah, on Instagram. You'll find a few more of these also on the website.
Yeah.
Which is pixploration.fr for France. But yeah, this one basically came from an idea from Thibault. One night we were at their place in California. We were talking about like what shoot they'd like to do in the future, and they were showing me pictures from that other photographer that is from Spain.
Right.
And he was like, could we do that together?
Yeah.
Or that style. I was like, well, I can't do the exact same thing because I'm not him.
Yeah.
And we all have a different style, but we could try to make something that's looked like my style plus what you guys want. So the theme was fire. So then we took it from there, and I started training with a fire artist to take pictures of the fire, because fire is a hard element to shoot. A really hard element to shoot.
Crazy.
So, and it ended up really cool. I mean, to do that kind of big like photography, you have like you prepare for like hours and hours and hours, and you have about 10 minutes, if not less, to shoot because the timing of the sun is very specific.
Right.
Yeah, true.
What time of day is this?
You have to.
This was sunset.
Yeah.
Sunset. Yeah, right.
Because you want it bright enough you can still see, but dark enough you can see the fire.
Yeah,
kind of like an orange, more of an orangey background, possibly, depending on the sun.
Where did you shoot the Mars shoot for that?
It looks like you're in Mars.
Yeah, well, actually, the city's called Marseille, which is in the south of France. I know, it's crazy.
That's awesome.
So it's right next to Marseille, which is about 4 hours drive from here.
Wow, cool.
South of France.
That's cool.
Second or third biggest city in France.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Then this one was shot in a city called Petrovac, which is in Montenegro. This one was an improvised photo shoot. We were basically teaching at that point at this event with Jem, and I was teaching with Maïna at that event. And the sunsets were just like crazy cool. We stayed there for we stayed at this place at that hotel for like a week.
Oh,
and
wow.
we took one of the evenings to just go shoot because just the sunset was amazing.
Yeah.
And this was actually, there's a bar actually right behind
Oh,
where
cool.
I'm standing taking the picture.
Very cool.
And so, this was just very accessible as a spot.
Yeah.
And we try to make the most out of it, really.
That's awesome. I love the image too. Like, he's kind of doing the splits on 2 rocks, and M's just like hanging there.
She's just hanging out.
I love it.
I know, this was,
Very cool.
yeah,
So strong.
that's what they are.
Yeah.
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 Gem is like,
And the shapes.
yeah, Gem is like, it's not brute force, it's like elegant.
Elegant.
force,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's like a sleeping strength.
So, yeah, like, yeah, effortless.
Effortless.
Just
Yeah.
effortless strength.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you got Sean Melissa over there.
Yeah, these guys I love working with just because I think we connect really well in terms of like mindsets of how we create. It's
Cool.
always super easy to like find ideas with them.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's super easy. We don't even think of pictures beforehand. We just get
Cool.
there and like Alyssa's always coming up with like Pinterest ideas.
Cool.
She's looking for pictures before, but we always like try them, but in the end do stuff of our own because
Yeah.
their creativity on the spot is
Oh, these guys are amazing.
Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like
also
the-
they connect with each other super well in terms of creativity. So I think it's one of these couples that like the 2 others that have that strength of like being able in the spot to pull off
Yeah.
a pose or something
Yeah.
that's going to work.
I
And we
love
try
something.
to
Sorry, you go.
yeah, we try to exchange a lot during the shoot to make something happen. Obviously, the first shoot, it always gets better each shoot we do. So it's like the first shoot is we're going to be coming with more ideas, and the second one a bit less ideas, more in the spot.
Yeah.
And as it goes along, we know each other and we know how it's going to work out.
Yeah, that's cool. I was gonna say, like, I love something different about each photo. Like, I love how like crazy this one is with Nicole and Thibault, like with the fire, and like I feel like it's
Fierce.
oh yeah, it's
But it's
aggressive and powerful and
It's
like
them.
out of this world. And then this just feels like beautiful like nature, and like these guys are very like down to earth people too, and I love how like the scenery and the rocks and like all the different shapes in there. And then well, like when I think of Sean and Alyssa, like they look exactly the same lines and the angles, like they're like when you said their chemistry together.
Yeah.
Like to me that explains how together that they are.
And the loop is like a good mixture of, modern and old, and which kind
Yeah,
of suits them
yeah.
as well.
It's
It's just
something
that mix,
yeah.
which is good too.
I love
Yeah.
it.
They
You
do
capture
have
well.
this like nature vibe that we haven't explored yet.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But it'll come soon.
Yeah. in the process.
In the process.
Yeah, I love it.
In the process, 2025 coming.
Yeah. If you can get a hold of them. Yeah, that's
Yes,
it.
there's
Oh,
that
it's
too.
already planned.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. That's
I love
awesome.
that.
Would you say you have a favorite type of like shoot? Like, do you
Yeah.
have your favorite like area or favorite?
My favorite area is working with dancers by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's because I know the needs, also because I'm working with friends. So
Yeah, that's right.
Who doesn't want to be
Yeah.
working with friends?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like work then.
Not at all. Like,
Yeah.
it's always super creative. It's always like different locations. I think working with like brands and companies is cool, but it's more like everyday kind of work, which is
Yeah.
each event sometimes is like the other. But working with dancers on their specific like creative project for their portfolio, for their social media, for their online coaching work, just to stand out on social media is like. It's not just taking a picture, it's thinking as a creative director as well, an art director, thinking about like, where are we taking this? What are you guys going to get from it? What is the audience going to think about it? And like, what did we do before that we haven't done yet? And what's the capacity today in terms of finances, time, ideas, or also physical capabilities? Because sometimes, you're able to pull off some moves that you weren't able to pull off last year.
Yeah.
Thinking of Thibault and Nicole's routine this year,
Yeah.
their choreo and their it's gonna be another level again.
Yeah.
So it's like next shoot we're gonna have like probably even more crazy moves, and
love that.
like it's always taken up in terms of level.
It's kind of good for branding too, like finding the brand of like projecting that brand or like watching it grow as well, especially for social media and stuff like that. I think the next thing I was going to ask was about events, or like even who are some of the photographers you've worked with in like the dance world, I guess, before, or like had chats with or stuff like that.
Well, I've chatted with most of the main photographers out there in the dance world. Obviously Brad, we've talked a lot with Brad in the past, with his vision of photography, his vision of the dance world as well, and the position of photography in the dance world. Talked a lot with, obviously for people who don't know, but Tumbo is kind of everywhere on social media in terms of dance events. He's really made the photography in dance events kind of something popular to have, at least in Europe. And then there's other photographers that do an amazing work that maybe more in the shadows, like Chelsea.
Chelsea Speaker?
Yeah. Chelsea is amazing. Her timing and her kind of...
Yeah, she gets great open shots.
Chelsea's pictures are amazing, and the person's amazing as well. I've worked with her on Journalist's wedding as well. Really easy to work with.
Cool.
And then you have other photographers that are maybe a bit more low key or amateur at the minute, but are really serving the dance world with, in terms of budget, because not every event can afford a photographer. The dance event architecture in terms of finances hasn't been built to incorporate like a professional photographer in them. So it's really good that there's some photographers for each level of finance.
That's true.
Is there something you'd like to see more change in that space with photography and dance events? That like you and Brad have spoken about?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think what I really get inspired by what Tumbo did in terms of working on the mindset of event directors in terms of, photography is actually a job, because 10 years back, I didn't see any photographer do that kind of job of like being an event photographer and promoting what the event is about, not just what the comps is. Because before we would see a lot of Brad's pictures in terms of comps, but we never see, or very rarely see, like what is a good shot like this. I think everybody's seen this shot of Jordan Tat from the back with a huge audience in front of them from Western Lyon. This was a photographer called Denis Bélékian, he was from Lyon originally. And I think this shot has been seen by thousands of people.
It's awesome.
And I think the dance world used to miss this kind of shot, which is like an event shot, which has more value than, at least for me, but more value than just like, here's your Jack and Jill picture.
I think, it tells a different story. Like a cinematic view of like, you're now getting to experience what Jordan and Todd are experiencing from their point of view, what they get to see, opposed of like what everyone else gets to see, but only at the end when they finish the routine and just like take it back. And like, thank you. Or like this one free shot.
I mean, the open kind of does. I think Chelsea does the pictures.
Yeah, Chelsea does the back.
The issue is because they're doing the videoing as well. Like she can't get directly behind them to like get the
you
wide
have to
shot
hide,
down, which is hard.
Hide in all black.
Yeah, so it's usually like a sneaky side shot.
It's always tough to like between video photographers to make the angles right. But I mean, sometimes you need just. I guess when he took this picture, I didn't see him take this picture because I wasn't really aware what was going on with the photography world at that point, so I wasn't really looking for that. But I'm guessing he did go in front of the video, like he was in the shot of the video and he took the picture, but the picture has so much impact that sometimes you just need to get out there,
There's one of Max Sonce as well. I think it's his profile picture at the moment.
Oh, it's very cool.
Of like, I think he said the lights went down. And all of the, like, eventually one person got a microphone, or like,
the
Max
torch
Sonce
from
was
the phone.
from the torch from the phones in the audience, and then eventually, like, everyone put their torches in the air. And it's like pitch black, and he's like emceeing, trying to fill the time.
Picture?
Yeah.
I think I've seen that.
I'm like, so it's another, like, point of view that you can I like the stories you can tell with photos is pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And what I'd like to see more is... Because to come back to the original question, so we're kind of talking, but like, I think Yeah, I think what we could do more as photographers, or at least what events could do more, because the outreach of pictures, of a good picture, is huge. What I feel like, and I do video as well, but it's like videos have a great impact for like 24, 48 hours. Sometimes a little bit more when you get lucky and when the video like really reaches a point, but the picture will have an outreach, maybe a smaller outreach at first, maybe 24, 48 hours won't have a lot of views, but it will stay a longer period of time because it will be a profile picture, because it will be on the flyers, because it will be reused for the Open next year. It will be, it's like, it tells a story, and it's also it's easier to use a picture than it is to use a video for a lot of reasons. So I think the impact is just different. It depends on what people want, but like I would like to see like these bigger events, like Mad Jam, Budapest, like these huge events that are selling out. They don't need a photographer to make more money and to actually bring more people in, because at the end of the day they are working, so they need to make money out of their event, which is understandable. But I think it'd be nice to see the impact a professional photographer would have with an event like this, how the impact would spread out to the world of non-dancers. Because that's what it's, I think, about as well, is like when you change your profile picture, all your friends on Facebook see them. Yeah. It's like your friends on Facebook are not all dancers, and sometimes the profile picture can really get out there. And just a picture in general just gets out there sometimes and is easy to use for.
Do you find that's where like most of your not your clientele, your clientele will come from? Like most of the time you'll do a photo shoot and then someone will click on it after they've made it a profile picture, and then you'll be like tracked by like a friend of a friend or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, profile pictures is a thing, but I get most of my clients from like these guys, I think. Like when it comes to social media. I do work to get my clients as well in terms of B2B, but when it comes to dancing, I think this is my portfolio right there, and this is what people see mostly, is when it goes to like pros. I don't do too many dance events for different reasons, but I just think a dance event, I don't do dance events for, let's talk about the reasons, but I think mostly it's because I feel after dancing in the dance world for like 14 years that each event is nearly the same. Especially in Europe. I feel like there's nothing like super different.
There's so many events that it's hard to make them different, I guess. Yeah. Like in Australia.
But they could.
Yeah, definitely could. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then, there's certain things you have to do to be registered WSC, that kind of stuff. But there's definitely things you can change.
See, I think there's some stuff that is like so easy to change. Well, it's never easy, but especially when you're a large scale event. But when you're like a smaller, let's say 400 to under kind of a number of people attending, I think like doing some tourism kind of thing, like around the city or around wherever you are in a country. Like when people travel to Stockholm or Scandinavia or places where like have crazy cool scenery, it would be really cool to see like pictures of people visiting the place. Imagine the different like level that you're taking this. And even for the events, maybe getting like access to like money from the tourism board, because they are bringing people in to do tourism. And I don't think any event has ever thought about it this way. And I do think like when you think about it, like Budapest, they bring in 1,200 people. How many of them are locals? I don't know. I have no idea about numbers.
Not many.
But I'm guessing at least 1,000 of them are internationals. So I don't know if they're getting any money from the tourism board or if there is any money to be given. But I mean, when you're a large city from like Europe, like Budapest, I guess there's something to do here, but how do you sell that to a tourism board without any good pictures? You can't.
Like where's the proof, and where's the like what are you going to do?
And the event itself is not enough, because people want to see tourists use their hotels, restaurants,
dining,
money coming
boats.
in the whole city, right?
Not
just one hotel.
And
And you have to deal with that hotel.
That's a good point.
So I think there's like other stuff to like incorporate. To make the whole like country or the whole city think about, oh, this is cool. Let's help this event to bring more people, or at least to help them like have more access to like, I don't know, let's do like a bus trip on the Thursday and go to like this mountain and spot type of stuff, or like
Australia and New Zealand actually do this.
Yes.
We have this on the Thursday.
Because we are definitely under the 400.
Yeah.
So like we have to, like it's interesting, because
there's nearly each one has like a something happening on the Thursday or like the Friday day of the event.
That's
which
awesome.
Is really cool.
Yeah.
like Adelaide has
The wine tour.
New
New Zealand has like the natural springs, like hot springs.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know Chuck does that like
Asia Open.
Singapore.
Asia Open.
Yeah.
I think this is brilliant. I mean,
genius.
yeah, it's genius.
Genius.
It makes you really want to go to the event, not just for the event, but also to experience the place with somebody that knows where to go.
Yeah, anyone who's done an event before knows like you hardly leave the hotel for most of the
Yeah,
weekend.
that's the shitty part.
Nice to have that outdoor experience and actually experience the city you're visiting, which is
That's one of the things I'm really appreciating about being on this trip is being able to actually see the place. Like the other day we walked around the street and I was like, oh, this is a nice hotel, this is a nice restaurant, this is a nice water. It's just like you actually get to experience the place, even if it's just not the inside of the ballroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. like we used to run like an event in Northern Ireland when I used to live in Northern Ireland for 5 years, and like
What was that one called?
it's called Swinterfell.
Swinterfell.
Winterfell.
Yeah, because Game of Thrones,
Winterfell.
the studios were
Nice.
filmed there.
Yeah.
Winterfell
cool.
Yeah.
was in Northern Ireland,
Yeah.
Cool.
and Northern Ireland is very proud of having Game of Thrones is filmed in their country.
It's like
Like
Lord
obviously
of the
there's a lot of
Rings.
stuff that was filmed out
Yeah.
like in Iceland and
Yeah.
It's like New Zealand, with
and
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly. But the main studios, the
Yeah.
Titanic studios, they're called, are in Belfast.
In Belfast,
and
yeah.
So, and so a lot of people have been like, I don't know, half the country has been an extra in Game of Thrones. I'm joking.
Oh, 100%.
But it's not half the country. But
100%.
even I've been an extra in Game of Thrones. It was like
I thought I recognized you.
impossible. I don't recognize myself.
You know you got all that.
That
Were you
would
a
be
White
such
Walker?
a cool
No.
experience.
Or did you actually, were you an extra?
Yeah, I was.
What were you as an extra?
Unsullied, so I had no balls.
No balls?
Yeah, they cut off your.
Oh my goodness.
Unsullied. Oh my god, that's
I
awesome.
do have jackets somewhere. Well, they're not here.
That's
Was
so...
that season 1?
8.
Season 8.
Oh,
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's
but it wasn't
awesome.
crazy. But to come back to the event,
Yeah.
let's not go
That's a
too much
great
off track.
We,
That's
we
great
actually have an event in
segue.
Australia that's called
Westeros.
Westeros,
Yes.
yes.
And I'm like, nothing was filmed there, but
Yeah, we'll
not-
take it.
I don't think so.
We just loved it.
Western side of Australia.
Yeah, but yeah, so we had this thing on Thursday. We would have a Game of Thrones tour. So we would,
Oh, cool.
because they do have Game of Thrones tours where they take you to different locations, but that's
Cool.
Game of Thrones that organizes that as a side thing,
Yeah.
or whatever company does that, private company.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we would hire a tour guide that was on the show that looks like Northman, because they have big beard,
Genius.
and we would hire actual like past extras or extras that are actually
Oh,
on the
that's
show,
awesome.
and that would be working as Game of Thrones tours in the official Game of Thrones tours,
Oh,
and we
that's
would
cool.
just hire our own bus and bus driver, and we would go to different spots. And if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, you could also take the scenery out of it,
It's
because
still-
the scenery is like unique in Northern Ireland, and we really wanted to push that out there.
Yeah.
And by the way, there is another event coming up with the Game of Thrones studios that are 30 minutes away from the event. I don't remember the dates. I think it's like 13th, 14th of February 2025, guys, in Ireland. So right in the middle between Dublin and Belfast. Yeah.
Sick.
And I'll be there
That's
taking the pictures as well. But
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
really happy with
That's awesome.
that coming up. Yeah.
Man, we'd love to be back here more often. Like, there's so many events here
so
that
many.
you can just kind of like
You can pick
train
and
right
choose.
over there, train right over here, train right over here. Like, you can do 4 events in 4 weekends. You could probably do 6 events in 4 weekends, to be honest. I reckon. Like, if you just went Saturday night, then Sunday night.
probably.
Saturday night, Sunday night.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Oh, it's crazy. We do have a final question.
Oh,
Do you have any
yes.
questions for us? Like,
Yeah.
while we're here?
Yeah, you've been touring Europe a little bit.
Yeah.
And is it your first time in Europe, guys?
Mine, yes.
Yeah.
Mine, no.
No.
been before, but I haven't been to Lyon, so this is new.
So yeah, what's your, because you've been to US before, and then you're going on to next city, it's Strasbourg. What's your take on like European events so far, or you have only done one, right?
We did GGP.
Yes,
so you haven't done
Maddie.
You have the other ones coming.
Maddie did Budapest 20.
That was like 2017. So
Cool.
2017.
And what else have you done here?
I did Let It West Coast Swing in Poitiers. That was like 12 years ago. So
That's
long
a
time
smaller
ago.
one. Smaller one.
I think we were very shocked by the lack of audience noise at
It does happen.
GGP.
Does happen in France,
Especially like, I was saying to you yesterday, Australians, the Asian community and New Zealand community were very loud. So
I think it's also coming from the Open where the Frenchies were like, whoa, yeah.
going nuts for their own people at the Open.
Yeah. But I think at home it's just a different scenario, like friends and family, and I think they're like quiet to respect the art, like, and be like, oh, let's cheer at the end.
Yeah.
So it's just a different outtake.
Different.
It's not that it's unsupportive, it's just a different reaction, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I think GGP was a massive production, like in my mind, like
They
from what's
invested
on
a lot
camera.
into that.
From what's on video anyway. So like you have the photographer, then you have the videographer, then you have like a phone videographer.
Social media person.
Social media was very quick to upload, which was awesome.
They do lighting for routines. So in floor trials, they're like, oh, what lighting would you like for your routine? I'm like,
Not used to that in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, I think that's what Igor really wants to like. His vision is like bringing some kind of show, like in terms of this is a show more than a comp, and you're here to experience a show, not just like see a full like light ballroom and just
It was
get
very
a competition.
cool.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a different purpose.
Yeah, it felt cool too, because as well, like it was right on YouTube, like that weekend on YouTube straight away. You could see it on everyone's Instagram straight away.
Yeah.
Photos were pretty quick, like having the, what's his name?
Oh, Tumbao?
Tumbao?
Yep, Tumbao did the photos.
The photos
he's very fast.
Very fast.
He's very fast.
Which is cool.
But that's our first European one. Swing Vesta is next in Austria, we'll have a bit more of an idea again.
Never been
Yeah,
to
we
this
still
one.
have a lot to experience.
Yeah.
So Swingvester's next, and then Budapest, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I know Budapest is, we usually, I think the Australians end up hanging out with the Polish and the Germans, and then we usually tend to be the loudest in the room again. So
Cool. Sweet.
So
I'll just be loud no matter what.
yeah. We interviewed our last guest we interviewed. Basically, when we interview someone, we ask them to give us a question to ask our next guest. So the question we have for you today.
They don't know who the next guest is
They
either.
don't. It's just
But
random.
I know who the previous guest was.
You do.
Because you told me.
Pretend like you don't.
We were talking about it. No, we were talking about it the other day.
So he or they would like to know where is the place you would like to visit next in the world? Not necessarily dance related, just
cool.
in general. Where in the world would you like to go?
Iceland.
Iceland.
Ooh.
Hands down. As a photographer, it's
What?
obviously like a bucket
Oh,
list thing. Just
the
everything.
lights.
Just the lights is why not? But
Why not?
Why not? But the light is not what attracts me. I think it's
Yeah.
just the whole country is like I'm more like a cold country Scandinavia style kind
cool.
of person. I'm better in terms of photography in that kind of environment. As
Yeah, we were cold yesterday.
I just like the harshness of like the mountains, the snow,
Yeah,
the
cool.
rocks. I've got like something with the mountains that I really love shooting.
Viking somewhere.
Yeah,
in this
Viking. I don't know, but I just love the Alps as well.
Yeah.
You know? I spend a lot of time like I've in the Alps. I spend a lot of time like in winter or even summer. I just love just being in the mountains.
A lot of time with the White Walkers.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
being good buddies on the show.
Cool. Okay. Awesome.
That's awesome. I think like we're like kind of here at the moment. This is the place that we wanted to come to next, and now we're here. Nice.
Yay. Woo. And I guess now you have to come up with a question for the next person.
Cool.
It can be completely random.
Who?
It could be. It doesn't matter who it is. You're not going to know who it is because we don't know who it is.
You don't know who
we
it is.
don't. We kind of just like we know who we want to, but like depending on schedules, it never always aligns, if that makes sense. And then it could be something that we're talking about, like with this podcast, it could be something completely unrelated that you want to know about someone else's opinion on something. Like we talked about how people run events and like photography.
I think it'd be good to have a different vision of what photography should be for somebody else, whoever it is.
Yeah.
What is their take on photography or videography in the dance scene?
In the dance scene. Yeah. Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's good question. I would thinking question. Thinking question. Yeah. I reckon.
Good luck.
We'll find someone.
To that next person.
Yeah. I love it.
I love it.
For anyone that's watching and all of your friends that you're gonna share this for on your social media, but like, how can people follow you? Facebook, Instagram, next events, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So Pixploration, Pixplor.
Asian.
Basically exploration with a PI.
Beautiful.
That's
Facebook
on
and Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram, and website. It's 3Ws Pixploration.fr for France. Didn't get the .com. It's too expensive. Somebody's got it and they don't even have a website on it. And I'm like, give me the .com, please.
Call them up and buy it off them.
Yes, I know.
We'll put it down in the description below as well. But
thank you for your time yesterday with our shoot. That was so fun.
Yeah, that was really good.
It's freezing cold, but
recommend it. There was some really cool photos that come out of it. Just like walking around and being able to see it on the camera. So if you guys are over here anytime soon and you think you want to do a photo shoot, definitely reach out.
Andrew has a way of looking at random old things and then seeing them in a different way to how we do. So it turns into this magical.
Yeah, and I'll be traveling to places as well. Not sure yet where, but I've got somebody that helps me organize shoots in other places in the world.
Sick.
So
hopefully you can come out to Australia. It'd be cool if you come out to Australia.
I'd love to go
some
to
of these guys.
That would be amazing.
Like all of these guys come to Australia, so you just follow one of these guys over. You know,
that'd be sick.
But no, cheers, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you, guys. Yeah.